All right, good morning, everyone. So let's go through reminders for this week, and we're going to go over course concepts and evidence again. All right, so this week, make sure that you do your week 15 meeting agenda before Friday, get that turned in. And your management online quiz, as usual, is due before Sunday. The big one this week is your experiential learning is due on Friday. Make sure that you get those turned in. There are a few, I think, two different opportunities that are extending into next week. So you'll have a little bit longer on those, but those are the only two. If you're doing anything else, or if you're doing interviews, anything like that, make sure that you get those done and turned in by Friday. So for your project, make sure that you're on track. I would take time today with your group or this week with your group to check your timeline. Make sure that you're on track to finish with time to spare so that you have time to go through and do your own reviews, since I won't be doing them for you. And then project 3 is due May 8th at 11:45 p.m. So you've got about a week and a half left. Turn it into Icon. Make sure that you turn in that filled out rubric with your paper on Icon. Most people were able to do that last time. Just turn in the two documents, separate documents, into that project 3 submission page. But if you have problems with that, just let me know and we'll figure something out. So reminders, you need at least one course concept per section, and then at least 4 pieces of exceptional quality evidence throughout the paper. This one, your course concepts aren't really just baked in. You have to go out and find them like you did for project 1. So make sure that you have those. Otherwise, it's a really big cut in your score. So we're going to go through some high scoring examples. So first off, let's go through course concepts. If these don't help you, if it doesn't help reading examples, don't worry about it. You could just skip all of this. I know for me, it helps if I can kind of see what an answer is supposed to look like. So if that helps you, great. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. So I'll give you a second to read through this. Okay, so this is a high scoring example from project 2. It was in the industry positioning section. And it's only the course concept part. The rest of it I cut out for length. It was already pretty long. So I went through and I showed you how I would score this kind of. So I would suggest doing this in your own paper. So I went through the definitions in this. I have made purple, the explanations I have made blue, and the application I've made red. So in this one, they're doing a cost focused strategy. So they had to first tell me what a cost leadership is, or industry positioning statement is, and then what a focus strategy is. So that's why they kind of have 2 different definitions here, and then they bring it together in the application. You likely won't have both of those. You'll just have the one course concept with the definition, the one explanation, and then the one application piece. So don't get overwhelmed by all of this. But this is what I like to see. It's got the definitions very clearly. It's got it cited according to the book. It gives me a quick general explanation that talks about why it's important, why I should care as the reader, and then it tells me how it is applied to their own situation. So next, let's do evidence. So I'll give you a second to read this. All right, so I've kind of done the same thing. I've gone through, the introductions are in purple. They've got 2 different pieces of evidence here. And the explanation is in blue and the application is in red. So this one I really liked because they gave me a lot of explanation for these pieces of evidence. Not only did they tell me what the evidence is, so like for this first one, Vegetarian Resource Group, they tell me that it's a nonprofit dedicated to education on vegetarianism and veganism. They tell me what the evidence is. It says 1/3 of the US population is trying to reduce the amount of meat they're consuming. And then they go through and they give me all of this explanation. This is largely due to the health concerns that people are becoming increasingly concerned about possible health issues. These are rising in popularity. Other universities have offered similar choices. Same thing here, according to the health blog. Then their explanation, healthier foods provided, that's the actual evidence. And then they give me a little explanation after the actual evidence. There's clearly an interest in these food options on other campuses. And then they give me their application piece right here. So when they're giving me all this, they're kind of just laying the groundwork for their application. So it wouldn't be all that helpful just to say 1/3 of the US population is trying to reduce the amount of meat they're consuming. We believe there would be interest on the University of Iowa's campus for this. I mean, it's kind of a jarring jump just from telling me what the evidence says into how I'm using it or how you're using it for yourself. But if you give kind of a little buffer there of an explanation of like 1/3 is trying to reduce the amount of meat they're consuming. This is due to health concerns. Other people have tried this. And that is why we think that it will be helpful for us. So giving that buffer of showing your reader why what you just told them was important or why what you just told them matters is going to make sure that it pushes your project into the next level and will get you all those points possible. So I found one of the groups in one of my classes had a really great project, and I wanted to show you their answer. This was a whole section. So I'm not showing you their whole project. This is just one of their sections. But this way you have an example of an actual project from our class that scored really well so that you can start to understand what I'm looking for, and hopefully that will make your life a little bit easier on project 3. So here is the answer. I'll give you a second. They have italicized their topic statement, so that's why that's italicized. All right, so hopefully that makes sense to you. In this one, they've given me multiple course concepts to explain their positioning strategy, and they've given me good applications. They've given me good evidence here. So I would try to use this model. So if you have any questions, just let me know. You can always email me, log on to the Zoom call if you want to. Just let me know if you have any questions, and keep chugging along on project 3, and I will talk to you all later.